Okay, so picture this. What if your next hotel stay was perfect? And I mean, actually perfect. No waiting on hold, every request met instantly, no forgotten towels. Well, the secret isn't hiring more staff. It's about building smarter systems. And today, we are diving into the AI that's making that a reality. First up, let's talk about something we've probably all experienced, what I like to call the hotel headache. You know, it's that frustrating gap between when you check in and when you can finally truly relax.
You know that feeling, right? You're in your room, you need something super simple, an extra towel, the Wi-Fi password, and it just feels like you've been totally forgotten. It's like you're shouting into a void. Well, you are definitely not alone.
Yeah, these are the classic pain points. You're stuck on hold with the front desk forever. Your request for an extra pillow seems to vanish into thin air. That leaky faucet you reported, it's like you never even called. It's just so frustrating, and honestly, it happens everywhere, from budget inns to the fanciest resorts. But what's really going on here? Is it just that the staff don't care? Well, to get to the real answer, we've got to go behind the front desk.
Here's the thing, and this is really important. Hotel staff are often incredible people doing their best. The problem isn't a lack of effort. It's a completely broken system. They are just buried under dozens and dozens of repetitive tasks all at once, which leads to a total system overload.
And look at this breakdown of their time. A massive 40%, almost half their day, is spent just answering the same basic questions over and over. What's the Wi-Fi password? What time is checkout? Another 25% is just manually trying to figure out who to send a request to. That leaves only about a third of their time for what actually matters, creating those really great, memorable guest experiences.
So, this is where technology steps in and completely changes the game. It's time to meet the solution, your new AI concierge.
So there's this platform called Whomate, and really, the best way to think about it is like the hotel's central nervous system. It's this AI-powered brain that connects every single department and completely automates the flow of information, from the guest's first text message all the way to the final resolution.
And this right here is the fundamental shift. We're moving from a reactive, kind of chaotic system to one that's proactive and totally automated. We go from somebody manually trying to sort requests to intelligent routing, from a process that's just full of human errors to one that's consistent, totally trackable, and most importantly, unified. Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? Let's pull back the curtain and break down how the magic really happens. At the heart of this whole thing is something called a smart ticketing system. Now, the key idea here is that every single guest request, doesn't matter if it's a call or a text, instantly becomes a formal, trackable ticket. And that simple change means nothing can ever fall through the cracks again. Let's just walk through an example. A guest texts, "Hey, I need more towels." Boom. Instantly, the AI creates a ticket. It knows this is a housekeeping task, so it routes it directly to a housekeeper's mobile app. Once they deliver the towels, they just tap a button to mark the task as complete. And then, the AI automatically follows up with the guest to make sure they got what they needed. It's a perfect, closed loop.
But what happens if that request for towels isn't in English? I mean, modern hotels are global crossroads, right? And language barriers can be a huge source of friction and misunderstanding.
Well, this system is built for exactly that reality. It processes texts, it can transcribe phone calls, and it even uses AI for real-time translation. But what's even cooler is that it uses sentiment analysis. So if a guest texts something like, "My air conditioning is broken and I am really unhappy," the system recognizes that negative sentiment and immediately flags it as an urgent issue to be prioritized. But here's the real secret weapon, the thing that makes the service feel personal and not just robotic. And that's PMS integration. The PMS, or Property Management System, is basically the hotel's master database. It knows everything. By syncing with it, the AI knows exactly who you are, what room you're in, and maybe even your preferences from a past stay. So when you text for those towels, it's not some anonymous request. It's from Miss Smith in room 305, and the response can be personalized instantly. So this is all fantastic for the guest experience, for sure. But what does it actually mean for the business? Let's take a look at the impact on the bottom line. The ripple effect is pretty clear, and it's all good news. When you automate all the tedious, repetitive stuff, guest satisfaction skyrockets. At the same time, staff workload goes down, and so do operational costs. It really is a win-win-win situation.
And we actually have the data to back this up. Putting this kind of AI-first approach into practice can reduce the human workload on all those routine tasks by a massive 20 to 40%. That is a huge chunk of time.
And this right here is probably the most important takeaway of all. This technology isn't about replacing people. It's about empowering them. By taking all that busy work off their plates, it frees them up to focus on what humans do best, providing that warm, empathetic, high-touch service to the guest who is standing right there in front of them.
So when you look at it, the business case is crystal clear. You're lowering costs by reducing overhead. You're protecting your revenue by preventing those awful online reviews that can sink a business. On top of all that, managers are getting the data they need to make smarter decisions about staffing and training. And it all comes together to build incredible guest loyalty through service that feels effortless and personal.
So what does all of this really mean for the future of your next hotel stay? It means we're fundamentally shifting our expectations. The new standard for luxury and great service won't just be about speed anymore. It's going to be about proactive, almost predictive service. A system that is so intelligent it can anticipate what you need, sometimes even before you realize you need it yourself.
Which really leaves us with one final question to think about. As we move into this new era, what do you think will be more important in creating that absolutely perfect hotel stay? The empathy of the people or the efficiency of the code? You know, the answer is probably both, working together in a way that we're really only just beginning to understand.